All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from the Chicago Street Circuit. Richie Joplin and Jeff Oakes have the front row. Robert Eggert and Mark Dantuma on the second row. Kevin Bruner and Rod Botgeter on the third row. Brian Gilgwalk on the fourth. Derek Schilling and Gerald Poole rounding out the top 10. Tim St. Jean starts in 11th. Mike Burgess rounds out the field in 12th. Now the drivers do have a drop race this season. Obviously, a lot of them choosing to use it here tonight. The Chicago Street Circuit is definitely a challenging course. These guys will have their hands full here tonight. Laps here tonight. The course about 1 miles rather. And as you can see from the map, a lot of 90-degree turns. These stock cars, not known for making sharp turns, does make it a struggle. With the bumps out here tonight, things will get hairy. Porsche pace car leading him around. Richie Joplin in a hurry to get started. He is pushing the pace car. And folks, as always, if you have a favorite driver, don't forget to drop in the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for. A lot of these guys do listen in, love to know their fans are out here cheering them on. Track temperature has come down from what they practiced in. Dropped about 5 degrees, now down to 99. That should help a little bit with the grip, but not a bunch. They're definitely going to be struggling for grip all night. They go through the final turn. Porsche pace car is on pit road. They stack up, and the green flag flies. They are underway in Chicago. Mid-pack a little bumping into turn 1. Everybody's going the right way, but Richie Joplin is dropping. He's got heavy damage. Mark Dantuma takes the lead out of turn 2. Robert Eggert in second, Jeff Oakes in third. Rod Botgeter now in fourth. Gilgwalk already up 3 spots into fifth. Looked like Gil had a bit of a problem coming out of that last turn, but he does have it gathered up. Richie Joplin has gone to pit road. We'll take a look at what happened here in just a moment. Robert Eggert currently in second. Jeff Oakes has dropped to third. A lot of positions changed with the stack up coming out of turn 1. And Mark Dantuma heads out of the final turn. He will lead the first lap. And it looks like Richie Joplin's pedals came unplugged right as the green flag flew. Let's see what happened with Richie. Obviously, pedals coming unplugged is huge. No braking and no throttle. Heads off through turn one. Parries it straight into the wall. Jeff Oakes gets into him. Everybody fans out and keeps going, but a huge setback for the points leader. Mark Dantuma has a 2-second lead for the moment. And it appears Mike Burgess is also had a problem back behind. He has towed it into pit road. Everybody else will make it by. Richie Joplin is out on track. Let's see what happened with Mike. There's Mike coming down the straightaway into the 90-degree right-hander. Oh, he gets on the brakes and it just snaps out on him. That was a hard hit. He did tow it in. Mark Dantuma still has the lead, but Jeff Oakes in second is closing in. Jeff has the fastest lap so far here tonight. Robert Eggert back in third, Rod Podgeter in fourth, Gil Blanc now in fifth. And a little bit of a battle going on. Gil Blanc, Kevin Brunner, Derek Schilling all right there together. This is a tricky track to pass on. Harold Poole back in eighth, just a hair behind this battle. Ryan Ward back in ninth, Tim St. Jean in 10th. Dantuma still in the lead, but Jeff Oakes is getting closer. Richie Joplin is back out on track. Is Joe, look at that. He is on the lead lap, but at the tail end of it. Lap traffic is coming into play as Mike Burgess is back out. That is giving Dantuma a little bit of breathing room, but Jeff is going to get past him. Now Jeff Oakes, as we have seen time and time again, has a very unique road course style. Not seeing him show it off yet here tonight, but Jeff does have a tendency to kind of drift through the turns. Richie Joplin just set the fastest lap, by quite a bit. He was over 2 seconds faster than the leaders last time by. After that problem with his pedals, he is way, way behind. If he keeps turning laps like that, who knows what could happen. Looking at the leader, Mark Dantuma, and you see just how bumpy this track is. Gil Guac and Kevin Bruner have had a problem back behind. Gil Guac has gone to pit road. See what happened back here. There's Gil. Oh, ouch! Gil gets into the tires. See what we can see from the blimp. It looked like his car just did not want to turn. Yeah, he just goes straight in. Derek Schilling has nowhere to go. Kevin Bruner catches a piece of it, as well as Gerald Poole. Gil Guac did tow it in. Derek Schilling has now also come in. Let's take another look real quick at Derek Schilling. We saw Derek hard into him. Oh, on the brakes, the back end steps out and he slams the wall. That was a big ouch for Derek. Gil Guac, Derek Schilling, Mike Burgess, if they come back out, they will have a slight advantage. They can get fuel right now. They'll be close. Most of the drivers said 12 to 14 laps on a tank of fuel. They might be able to take advantage with a full tank coming off pit road. And Derek Schilling and Gil Guac are officially out of the race. Meanwhile, the top two, Mark Dantuma and Jeff Oakes, battle it out. Robert Eggert back in third. Rod Potgieter currently in fourth. Gerald Poole now up into fifth. Kevin Bruner did not get any significant damage. He holds on to sixth for the moment. Ryan Warp currently in seventh. Tim St. Jean quietly making his way forward. He is now in eighth. Richie Joplin back in ninth. Mike Burgess in 10th. Hey, good evening, Angie Louise. A heartbreaking end to Derek's race for sure. Now this time by, everybody is within their fuel window. So pit strategy about to come into play. Will we see anybody duck in this time? Top two continue to stay out. Robert Eggert and Rod Rod Podgeter also staying out. Gerald Poole and Kevin Bruner battling for 5th. They both continue to stay out. Richie Joplin trying to charge back up. He is currently in 9th as Mike Burgess has had a problem. There's Mike. Definitely a rough start to the night for him. On the brakes, just sends it deep. The back end steps out. But a very light tap into the wall. He is okay. Folks, if you haven't already, make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. We have a lot of great content coming out on YouTube, including this race, which will be on YouTube later tonight. And all of our previous race broadcasts are there. You can see a lot of cool stuff. Plus, don't forget to join us tomorrow night. Friday Fun League apparently is happening this week. Quite a few guys said they do not have plans, so it looks like we're going to have Friday Fun for the 4th of July. Robert Eggert back in 3rd, about 9 seconds behind. Rod Podgeter about 10 seconds behind him. No, excuse me, 18 seconds back. Gerald Poole in 5th. He is about 4.7 seconds behind Rod. He has been closing that gap and continues to reel him in. Kevin Bruner, though, staying right there with him. Ryan Warp about 3.25 seconds back. He is getting closer to those two as well. Jeff Oakes is coming in. And Jeff Oakes, the first driver to come to pit road. Will it be a fuel-only stop? Where Kevin Bruner say he would likely do fuel only. Will somebody take the chance and take tires? And yes, Jeff Oakes is getting tires. 4 tires and fuel for Jeff Oakes. After almost 10 laps, I'm not seeing a lot of tire fall off. Tim St. Jean is coming in. Robert Eggert now up into 2nd. Jeff Oakes coming by. He's going to take 3rd. Now Jeff definitely making those fresh tires work as he powers by. And the leader is on pit road. Mark Dantuma is in. The question is, will Dantuma take tires or will it be fuel only? Mark hits his stall, and he is going up. He'll take tires. Meanwhile, Robert Eggert has taken the lead He will get bonus points for leading a lap here tonight. Robert Eggert did come in tonight 13th in points. With Derek Schilling having problems, he's likely to move up. And with several drivers out, Robert may end up in the top 10. Mark Dantuma is on pit road, but look who's right there with him again. Jeff Oaks still right there within striking distance. Rod Potgieter has fourth, Kevin Brewer in fifth, Gerald Poole in sixth. Those three all right there close together. Jeff Oaks has had a problem. Jeff had been right on Mark's bumper since the drop of the green. Oh, coming out of the turn, just loses the back end. And he lost a lot of time and a position. And what a setback for Jeff Oaks. He gets back past Rod Potgieter coming in. And what a setback. Jeff Oaks, one of the best road course racers in a stock car I've ever seen. But that was a heartbreaking setback there. He is now 12 and a half seconds behind Mark Dantuma. Robert Eggert continuing to stay out. And you see how bumpy it is around here. Robert Eggert gives up the lead. He is on his way in. Kevin Bruner, Gerald Poole, Ryan Warp, they're the last three to come to pit road. As Mark Dantuma goes past pit road, he will reclaim the lead. Jeff Oaks is going to come by and reclaim second. Kevin Bruner staying out, as does Gerald Poole and Ryan Warp. And let's ride along with Ryan as he goes through turn one. Gets on the power as he heads toward the right-hand turn two. You hear him out of the throttle waiting for that car to rotate. Then on the power as quick as possible. Down into the right-hander, just a little short shoot. Come back out of it and on the power for one of the long straights. Hard on the brakes as they head into the left-hander where this turn is very, very slippery. He holds on to it over the bridge. Into the right-hand turn. The track actually tightens up through here as they go around the fountain. On the power through this long left-hand curve. Power out into the penultimate turn. back over the bridge and heads toward the final turn. Oh, he's coming in. Ryan Warp, Gerald Poole, and Kevin Bruner all on pit road. With 7 laps to go, Mark Dantuma has the lead, but that lead is shrinking. Jeff Oakes has definitely stepped it up a couple of notches. Last time by, Jeff was almost a full second faster than Mark Dantuma. Whoa, Jeff, hold on, he slides it through, just taps the right rear into the wall. Robert Eggert has gotten back to third after his stop. Kevin Bruner comes off pit road in fourth. Worth noting, Kevin Bruner is the only driver that did not take tires. Rod Potgieter back in fifth, Gerald Poole in sixth, Ryan Warp in seventh, Tim St. Jean in eighth, Richie Joplin holds on in ninth, and Mike Burgess in 10th. Hey, good evening, Russell. Russell Ritchie had a little problem going into turn 1. His pedals disconnected. So he is having to try and fight his way back. Ritchie is still on the lead lap and is the fastest car on track, but he is still 8.5 seconds behind Tim. Meanwhile, Mark Dantuma out front, his lead about 10.7 seconds. Jeff Oakes, after his setback, remember he was on Mark's bumper the first half of the race, but he had a spin coming out of a turn and lost a lot of ground. Now he is trying to reel him back in. Robert Eggert having one heck of a run tonight, currently in third. He's about 10 seconds behind Jeff at the moment, but he's got a 33-second gap on Kevin Bruner. Tonight, definitely a huge night for Robert Eggert. A big points night as the season winds on. Five laps to go, and Mark Dantuma continues to lead. You see how bumpy it is. These drivers talked about it a lot during pre-race. While they were practicing, the track just feels bumpier than it's ever been. And of course, iRacing updates these regularly, and updates to the car and the reaction to the track have made a huge difference. Rod Potgieter's in trouble. There's Rod Potgieter. He was running about 5th. Oh, just loses the back end on exit. Gets it gathered up quickly, but Gerald Poole does manage to slip by. Gerald Poole now in 5th. Gerald about 8.3 seconds behind Kevin Bruner. But remember, Bruner, the only driver that did not take tires on his stop. Mark Dantuma, the last couple laps, has started pulling away. Yet again, his lead over Oaks now 11.5 seconds. Robert Eggert is starting to close a little bit. He is now just 7.8 seconds behind Jeff and closing as Tim St. Jean has had a problem. Was battling for right behind, just loses it out of the final turn. Tim had reeled in several cars. That was a huge setback. Speaking of setbacks, we mentioned Richie has pedal problems. Richie has pulled back up to 7th place. He's not going to pull off the win tonight, but man, what a charge back toward the front. Mark Dantuma's lead, now just 11 seconds over Jeff Oaks. Robert Eggert back in 3rd. Kevin Bruner still holds on to 4th, but Gerald now just 5.9 seconds back. Last time by, Gerald about 2 seconds, a lap faster than Kevin. Rod Potgieter holding on to 6, but Richie closing right up on him. Richie trying to get the run. He gets the better run out of the turn. Richie Joplin takes 6th. Richie definitely on the comeback march. But will he be able to get to Gerald? Gerald now 3.25 seconds ahead. And Gerald still running down 4th place Kevin Bruner. And Rod Potgieter has had a problem. There's Rod coming over the bridge. Into the right-hander. Loses the back end, but great save. He keeps it out of the wall. I usually just hit the wall there. Mark the man Dantuma out front by 8.7 seconds. Jeff Oaks is cranking it up. But here comes Mark. The white flag flies one more time around the Chicago street circuit. Jeff Oaks has suddenly found a bunch more speed in 2nd. And there's the Jeff Oaks driving style. The drift on exit, getting the power down more than anybody else. Robert Eggert still holds on to third. Richie Joplin has just taken fifth. Richie has gotten past Gerald Poole, taken fifth, now less than 4 seconds behind Kevin Bruner. Mark Dantuma's lead, 9 1/4 seconds as he comes past the fountain. Comes out of the fountain toward the penultimate turn. Mark took the lead on lap 1 when Richie got the wall, and he has not looked back. Out of the final turn, Mark the Man Dantuma will win at the Chicago Street Circuit. His first ever win in home motorsports. Jeff Oates had one heck of a charge late, comes home in second. And Robert Eggert comes home in third. Back behind in fourth is Kevin Bruner, but Richie Joplin is almost to him. But only 2 turns left. Gotta hand it to Richie. Lap 1, big problem. What a comeback to finish in fifth. And let's see if we can talk to our top 3. Starting with third place, Robert Eggert. Robert, man, congratulations. That was one heck of a pace you were setting tonight.
Well, I appreciate it. It wasn't quite good as Mark and Jeff. They were flying.
Well,
and of course, Richie too.
Yeah, I have to say those two are just kind of off on their own. But honestly, you were checking out from the drop of the green. Once everybody spread out, you were pulling away from everybody behind you.
Yeah, I was just trying to try to keep it clean, race the track. A lot of times you're just not even on the gas all the way until the straights.
Well, you definitely managed it really, really well tonight. It was one heck of a performance and a great finish, man. Congratulations, Robert.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
And looks like we're going to talk to our winner, Mark the Man Dantuma. Mark, you're finally in victory lane in home motorsports. Your first win, and it comes on a road course.
Yeah, that was definitely not expected for me. Richie had a little issue with his cords on his pedals, and that kind of opened the door for me there in turn 1.
Well, I have to say, once you took it, you were gone. Jeff was staying with you for quite a while, but even he had some problems back behind. You were just kind of untouchable.
Yeah, I think Jeff actually might have been a little bit faster, but he had quite a bit of damage from that turn 1 incident, and then when I saw he looped it, that kind of took the pressure off.
You did manage to pull out a big lead after that, and just checked out getting your first home motorsports win. And just think how much bigger that win would have been if you'd been in a Chevy.
Yeah, but I can't complain. This Sharpie Ford definitely stood the test of time. I brushed the wall a few times, and it didn't even slow down.
Well, a great job. You should celebrate by going trucking with the Unicorn, but a great job and a great win, bud.
Thank you, Doug.
Well, Mark Dantuma gets his first ever win in home motorsports. And man, what a way to finish the night out. Folks, don't forget, come back here in about 5 minutes. And we will have some trucking for you as the Unicorn takes to the convoy. Make sure you tune back in. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you back in a few minutes. Have a great night, everybody.